judge in New York ruled that pro-Palestinian Columbia University student Mahmoud Khalil will not be deported for the time being. He was arrested by immigration authorities on Sunday, who said they were acting on a State Department order to revoke his green card, according to Khalil's attorney. He has a hearing scheduled for Wednesday, but President Trump says his arrest is the first of many to come on the crackdown against pro-Palestinian campus demonstrators. For more, we are joined now by an immigration lawyer, Michael Wilds, the managing partner at Wilds and Weinberg, joining us from New York. Michael, there's quite the controversy right now. Some are praising this decision by U.S. President Donald Trump. Others are certainly condemning the move. But let's talk about the legality of this issue. How legal is it for the president to come after this student right now?
So first, I should tell you that I'm also a mayor in New Jersey, where I am, and where a mayor and a governor in New York did not make it safe for Jewish students, a president stepped in. And I think he's to be lauded to understand that there needs to be some semblance of order. It is unfair for students to be going to school under that kind of physical pressures. It is legal for a president and for immigration to start rescission proceedings to take a green card away if the person lied in their application for a green card. And the news isn't reporting what the government may know. Had this young man been part of Hamas or supporting an organization and he omitted to put that in his application for a green card, that willful omission would actually be grounds for rescission proceedings. He would get a notice that he was going to have his green card rescinded. He would respond, and then the authorities would make the choice. Or if, in the interest of the State Department, the Secretary of State believes that he is a danger to national safety, security, or policy, they can start proceedings against him. And finally, if he committed a crime that was significant enough and is prosecuted, he could be removed for that. Unless you have the Golden Grail, which is U.S. citizenship, you can still be removed from the United States. Having a green card is not final protection. Having a U.S. passport or citizenship is.
Now, Michael, you mentioned this supporting terrorism, and this is something that the Trump administration says why they're going after Mahmoud Khalil for his support of the Hamas terror organization. Now, that in itself is one issue, but some critics of this move are fearing that this could trickle into a dangerous reality where it's targeting freedom of speech. And so what is the line here when it comes to supporting a terror organization versus just continuing with your rights to voice your support for whatever organization it might be?
So, I'm an immigration lawyer by trade. I get visas, green card, citizenship for people. My father was John Lennon's lawyer, so I'm a second-generation lawyer who believes in due process, freedom of press, and all the liberties that our country portends, not only to us, but to the world. But that doesn't give you the right to scream fire in a movie theater. The famous landmark case, Chaplinsky versus New Hampshire. Again, you cannot incite others to violence. You cannot deprive people from going to school, rip off their chais from their Magen Davids from their throats, and intimidate people to make a point. You can express yourself. By the way, we have no expectation of privacy when we go to airports. Why should anybody have an expectation of privacy to wear a mask at a public demonstration? And it's incumbent on mayors and governors to do what this president is doing, and that is make sure that we have expression of thought, and that's it. It's okay for us to share how we disagree with one another in a country that respects differences, but it's not proper to support a terrorist organization or intimidate people while you're doing that. And certainly the pushback on the NYPD by demonstrators goes to show you that they have no respect for the law. This is a country of law. We have to make sure we reinstate that. I'm saying that now as a very proud Democrat. The party and a lot of other leadership seems to have lost its kind of compass when it comes to being in the middle of the road, exacting an opportunity for people to express themselves and making sure that we gird this properly. You cannot incite others or cause physical harm in your expression of liberty or freedom.
Hate speech and calls for violence or harm, they are very different from free speech, and it's a great clarification to point out, Michael. We are expecting to hear from this.
It's called the fighting words doctrine. It's a beautiful term of art. Sorry to interrupt you. But if you create fighting words, then it's actionable.
And that certainly seems to be exactly why Mahmoud Khalil is being going after right now by these federal authorities. What are we expecting from Khalil's hearing as far as tomorrow? Because this could possibly set the precedent for these future student protesters with visas or green cards.
Well, obviously, a few things are going to happen. The government is going to line up its argument and the defense as well. They're going to be hiding behind the First Amendment, and the government is going to have to present articulable proof through a due process that this person who was accorded a green card should have it rescinded. And if it's not going to be rescinded, it has to be made clear why it wasn't rescinded. And through the process, we'll learn whether or not he lied on his green card application, or if he was convicted of a crime, or the actions that he took were tantamount to what the Secretary of State would be eligible under 237, I think A4 of the Immigration Act, that would give him the authority to do what he's doing.
So we'll certainly have to see exactly what does come from that. Michael Wilds from Wilds and Weinberg joining us from New York. Thank you so much for your legal analysis on this controversial situation happening in the U.S.
Thank you.